Hey everyone, I'm sure everyone who's watching this video thinks about Rome daily. How do I know this? I've got my sources. But do you ever think about what came after Rome? What about the odd country that claimed they were actually Rome every other year? I mean, it seems like every nation state claimed to be Rome at some point or the other. But why did they do that? And how did they inevitably fall or give up their claim? All of these questions will be answered today, but before that, I'd like to ask you all to subscribe, as over 95% of you aren't. So if you enjoy this video, subscribe so you don't miss my next one. Also, check out the description/comments to join my Discord. Now that is out of the way, let's get into the most obvious specter, the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire was actually formed when the Roman Empire decided to split up because of some type of family feud in 330 AD. At this time, it was simply the Eastern Roman Empire. And the biggest thing about it was that it was essentially a more Greek version of Rome. And that's saying something. I mean, at this point, the Greeks have basically colonized Rome with their culture. But this one is even more Greek than that. In my opinion, Byzantium has the strongest claim to the title of Rome, due to actually being Rome at some point. But with the fall of the western half of the empire, thanks to the Germans, it's always the Germans, the Eastern Roman Empire wasn't really Rome anymore. You know, they didn't really have Rome. Instead, historians have dubbed it the Byzantine Empire. But interestingly, something I didn't know, they have never stopped calling themselves Romans to the day they were invaded by the Turks. Hell, they even reclaimed Rome in 540 AD. They didn't hold on to it long. They fucked it up so bad they lost it within a lifetime, in around 580 AD. But Byzantium took a long time to finally keel over and die. They managed to last until 1453 AD, over 1100 years, even surviving to see completely unrelated empires try and take the mantle of Rome. Sadly, the reason why they fell was due to the constant wars with the Turks and eventual conquest. Speaking of the Turks, a successor I didn't expect was Turkey, or the Ottoman Empire, depending on who you ask. I say Turkey because I like turkeys. But anyways, Sultan Mehmed II was the guy responsible for conquering the Byzantines in 1543, and claimed that due to Turkey now controlling the seat of Rome, that Turkey was now Rome. Like it was a fucking physical object that could be passed around. Obviously, this claim was purely for clout and was complete bullshit. Conquering something doesn't make you what you conquer. That's like saying the fucking Spanish are now the Aztec Empire because they conquered the Aztec Empire. But this guy, Mehmed, that's what I'm calling him, didn't always want to be the new Rome. In fact, many historians believe that wasn't his original goal and just thought Constantinople would be a cool city to have. But after touring the city after he captured it and converting a major church into a mosque while he was there, he decided he really liked Rome and their aesthetic. So he had plans to revive the very empire he just murdered and wanted to see it at its greatest extent. He even attempted to invade Italy in order to establish a world empire, but he died from insanely terrible gout, and his dreams of reviving the Eastern Roman Empire died with him. Womp womp. Next up on the LARPer list, we actually have a Roman Empire that was formed in 808 AD, the HRE, the Holy Roman Empire. Now, they weren't claiming to be the successor of Rome right off the bat. They did some freaky shit with the French first. And I was going to go into detail about all that and how insane it was, but it just turned out to be way too long. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. But anyways, let's skip to the part where they actually started calling themselves Rome. This happens in 963, when a German king came to the aid of Adelaide of Italy, defeating her enemies, marrying her, and effectively taking control over Italy. King Otto was crowned emperor by Pope Joan XII, which caused so much fucking bullshit that I'm not even going to go start talking about it. But effectively, this intertwined the affairs of Italy, Germany, and the papacy. This made the Germans think very highly of themselves. Never a good thing when the Germans think highly of themselves. And they considered themselves the continuation of the most successful empire in history at the time, the Roman Empire. Keep in mind, Rome fell over 500 years ago at this point, so this wasn't exactly recent history. Not to them, anyways. And the actual only continuation of the Roman Empire was still around. I mean, the Germans just love taking things that aren't theirs. The HRE lasted longer than Byzantium, kind of. They only lasted less than 1,000 years, so Byzantium has them beat there, but the HRE was dissolved much later. after Napoleon came into the picture and wrecked everyone's shit, to the point where the HRE Emperor said, "Fuck this, I'm going home," and promptly went home. Napoleon didn't even have to twitch his arm too much. He just beat him in a battle and he gave up. Now this next one is my favorite. Why? Is it viable? No, not at all. It's just so fucking hilarious that Russia, of all people, had the gall to say, actually, if you really think about it, we're Rome. Like the stretch is so bad, I'm thinking Putin is gonna come out any day and say the same shit on live TV. So this starts when Bulgarian clergyman seeks shelter in Russian lands, and as a thank you, just casually transfers the idea of the Third Rome to Russia, telling them about it, which Russians lived off of that high for the next fucking millennia. I mean, they just love the idea of being any kind of important. But after the fall of Constantinople and the official dissolution of the only remnant of the Roman Empire, the Roman idea of Christianity was kind of on the back foot. Many had even thought this was the end times, Winchester brothers and all, but the state of Moscow have always been masters of coping. So instead, they whipped up a story about how this was a punishment of the divine, as if God himself had come down and turned everyone in the city into salt. But due to the Second Rome falling, they did kind of need a new place for shit to happen. So the Eastern Orthodox Church took it upon themselves to declare the Third Rome. I do want to say, though, I can't find anything saying that a Russian government declared to be a Third Rome officially. Instead, it was entirely the clergy and other religious figures that said Moscow was the Third Rome. However, the idea of the Third Rome has always been the core of Russian expansion, even birthing a new idea, the Russian world. Obviously, Russia has yet to fall off. Their 2-week military operation is going steady, their economy is booming, and they have great foreign relations. But in all seriousness, Russia has been on the decline ever since World War I, and sadly it seems that a string of authoritarians are hell-bent on making Russia a thing of the past. They couldn't even call themselves like Roman Russia or anything cool yet. It's truly a shame. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It would really make my day. But the next video is an exciting one. Me and my pal, NS, will be discussing the Liberty Bell and if it is indeed a terrible monument or not.